Hey, it's Andrew, and I've got this problem: computer storage. I make YouTube videos on YouTube, right? So I'm making tons and tons of data. Whenever I shoot, I'm filming this. It's audio data, it's video data, it's just tons of megabytes and gigabytes of stuff. Sometimes I'm making a terabyte or two in a week. I ended up solving my editing problem last year, and I got one of these. This is a LaCie Thunderbolt 3 SSD. It's very fast. The problem I'm facing nowadays is, where do I put all of those project files and pieces of footage after I've finished and uploaded a video? I don't really want to delete them. I kind of worked hard on them, and sometimes I use footage from old videos in new videos. My solution in my first year making YouTube videos was this little Sabrent 2-bay hardware RAID unit. It was cute. Single USB cable, access to 2 drives. I was running 2 12TB SSDs inside that guy, and I was running them in JBOD. And I will explain what RAID means here in a moment, but just to make it simple, JBOD basically just means that your computer recognizes 2 drives as 1 drive. So those 2 12TB SSDs I was running on my computer appeared as 1 24TB SSD, and not SSD, they're HDDs, they're big spinning disk drives. A 12TB SSD would be ludicrously expensive. And this unit was really helpful at the time, but it doesn't really do the job anymore, because primarily I've got more stuff and I want it to be protected. And I also work with my roommate D now, so I need to kind of be able to freely access stuff, as well as him be able to freely access stuff without having to shut down drives, eject the system, plug it in at his desk just to access one thing from forever ago. So after ample amounts of research and a ton of learning, I settled on a NAS. Specifically this NAS from Synology. This is the DS1821 Plus. Now, before everybody leaves because they don't know what a NAS is and this doesn't make any sense, let me explain what a NAS is. And make sure you do watch this through to the end of the video, because there are a lot of weird little reasons to love this thing. And okay, this is going to get into the weeds, but pay attention. I'm going to do my best to help explain this stuff. NAS, NAS, means network attached storage. While a traditional spinning drive you plug into your USB port only to have it unplug on accident and just stop working, a NAS is a housing unit for you to put multiple spinning disk drives into, and they're powered through that unit, and they're always on, and they're always accessible over an Ethernet cable or the network that the network attached storage is connected to. A NAS is actually its own computer, and its whole purpose is to house and run hard drives. And this specific enclosure I have is 8 bays. So I have 8 bays for 8 big HDDs, or technically SATA SSDs. We can talk about that later. Currently, I've only got 3 drives inside of this 8-bay enclosure, but it allows me to grow and expand in the future without having to buy further units. So at the end of the year, if I need more space, I just get another drive and I slip it in the new bay. And that is amazing for me. Expandability is a great thing. I miss it quite a bit. Technology I buy nowadays doesn't really have much expandability. So since this guy is network attached though, I can access it from anywhere, from a web browser, from an app, from my file browser on my Mac, and I can access, download, upload files as I please. This is great because pretty much everybody, whether they know it or not, uses cloud storage nowadays, and it can be really helpful and really convenient. But since this cloud storage server is technically in my living room, I can access it at super high speeds directly over LAN. And LAN, if you don't know, local area network, it just basically means I have an Ethernet cable plugged into my computer and the NAS, and so I can access it directly over that cable instead of like Starbucks Wi-Fi. And the fact that I can access files as fast as the drives or the Ethernet cable will let me is super helpful as a video creator, because that means I can access and edit footage off of one giant hard drive, which also means all of my project files and stuff stay in the same place, and even when different people need to access them, nobody moves them. They're always where I left them. And like I said earlier, my roommate edits these videos with me now too. So whenever he wants to pull up an old piece of footage or 3 seconds of me holding this device from this video from a year ago, he can now just go into the NAS, grab the piece, pull it into the current project without having to come find me and do all this crazy stuff to get the Sabrent onto his setup, or have me download it and then me email him the full. There's all kinds of annoying things we had to do before we got a hard drive that we could both just access at the same time freely without having to do anything. But being able to let people use my hard drive is really helpful. Say I'm working with a thumbnail designer. He finishes the project, I can give him access to a singular folder on my hard drive, and now he can just drop that thumbnail directly onto my computer. Or let's say that I'm doing a freelancing project. I can finish a video and then I can ship out the finished project directly to the client and they just download it off my server. I don't have to use Dropbox or Google Drive. It's really, really convenient. There are a ton of advantages to using a NAS, and I haven't even went over one of the biggest ones yet, and that is RAID. RAID is an acronym and it stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks. RAID offers multiple different modes, so you can choose what works best for you. But what it is really made to do is offer redundancy options. Redundancy options. Redundancy. These hard drives are always spinning, right? They spin and they spin and they spin for years until eventually they give out. RAID arrays allow you to set up however you specifically want it set up. So when one of those drives dies, another one takes its place and you don't lose any data. For instance, I have 3 12 terabyte drives in my NAS right now, 2 from my old Sabrent unit and 1 that I just purchased. I run these in SHR, which is single hybrid RAID, which is a specialty RAID mode that Synology Custom offers to Synology people. I do have a Synology NAS. There's all kinds of brands and they all do their own special stuff, but RAID more or less is intact. So in my SHR RAID, that should technically have about 36 terabytes because there are 3 drives, I only actually have 23 terabytes. I'll be completely honest, I should have 24. I don't know where the extra terabyte is, but 2 of those drives are fully usable. I'm able to access those drives and move stuff in and off of them. The 3rd drive is specifically built to have a architecture snapshot of those 2 drives that are being used. So if either of those drives begins to fail, the 3rd drive will instantly start rebuilding all of the data that is on the failing drive, and I will receive an alert to switch out the failing drive. This means I don't lose data unless the house burns down. If the house burns down, I do lose data. And NAS drives are rated to run for years. That is why they can get kind of pricey, but they will fail eventually, and most drives will. So it's always important to know that you have a safety net for your data, because if you lose it forever. There's no getting it back. Now, I bought this guy, the DS1821 Plus. I put 2 drives from my old little RAID unit into this thing, and then I bought 1 extra drive. But the primary reason I bought this specific one is because expandability. I really wanted to be able to expand this unit in some specific directions in the future. This NAS has 2 slots for NVMEs. You can add them and create a cache for hot storage. What that means is basically it's just a memory pool for storage that's constantly being used, meaning that the most used stuff on my drive can go to the fastest little SSD NVMEs. The system also currently only has 4 gigs of RAM, which is honestly plenty for a NAS that is just doing redundancy and stuff, but I do want to use this for some heavier duty stuff, so I do plan on upgrading that soon. It is really as simple as just take the top off and click the sticks in. It's pretty simple. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you can do 2.5 SATA SSDs inside of a NAS, and I plan on getting 2 of them here soon enough, then running them in RAID 1, which basically RAID 1 is the safest. You have 2 drives and they are both the same drive. So one of them fails, you have the exact copy on the second drive. These 2 SSDs are going to go into their own volume of storage. I want about 4 terabytes. This is going to be for active project editing. And I just want to make sure that that second drive is always backing it up, because I never want to lose an active project. I have before, and it is, oh man. I'll tell this story right now, but I will just cut it and put it at the end of the video. So watch to the end if you want to hear my story about the time we lost an active project. Back to the NAS. On the back of this guy, we've got 4 1 gigabit Ethernet ports. And right here on the back is a slot that I could technically add an expansion card to. And I plan on soon enough adding a 2-port 10 gigabit Ethernet card. This way, both me and Dee can have a 10 gigabit connection directly to the hard drives and access those SSDs at super high speed. But it's so cool, all the kind of weird features that this system offers that I've been taking advantage of. Like something I never thought I would use that I just started playing with because of my good friend Morris is Plex servers. Plex servers are awesome. It's just a media server that I can access on my TV. So I can just upload my own videos from my computer, memes, movies, and TV shows that I downloaded from an incredibly reputable space. And I can just put them on a server that my TV or my phone can access. And the immediate reaction was to try and hunt down that childhood binder of DVDs that my parents had, but apparently they've thrown them away, and I'm very sad about that. So I cannot digitize all my childhood movies. But yeah, the Plex service, it's a network attached storage. I can access it anywhere over the internet, so forget streaming services. And even though I have a ton of plans and things that I want more from this unit, I've still adored it since I purchased it. The fact that I'm not worried, or I have no anxiety whatsoever about storage and overloads of storage anymore is remarkable. And what's even better is that where where it's at, both me and my roommate can access at the same time with no worries. It is so helpful, and I am going to have this thing for many years to come. And there are units that aren't 8 bays. You can get a 4 bay or even a 2 bay. I think they also have 1 bays. And I highly recommend a NAS unit to not only creators, but pretty much anybody. Don't get an 8 bay. I'm crazy. I use crazy cameras. I'm way overkill. So I'm creating a ton of data. But get yourself a 2 bay, because with all of the features and the redundancy and the storage pool, it is just incredible. I wish my parents owned one of these and my dad digitized all of our DVDs before they threw them away. Because then me and my brothers, wherever we are in the country, can access every movie my parents ever bought at Walmart or Best Buy. Everybody is using Google Drive or iCloud or Dropbox or something. Now I don't have to. I don't have to pay those subscription fees. I don't even have to get more storage when I buy a new computer. Buying a Mac is fun and awesome, but pumping up that storage can be brutal on your wallet and make it pricey. And it is a bit of a bulk payment up front, but I still think a NAS is a fantastic deal, and it is technically way better priced per gigabyte of data than anything else you're really gonna get. And on top of that, it's really nice knowing where all of your data actually is and still having it cloud accessible. It's not on a server somewhere in Cupertino. It's directly in my living room. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Consider like and subscribing if you enjoyed, and drop a comment. You have any questions? Tell me what I did wrong. I do want to clarify, I'm still new to the NAS game. It is complicated and it is a lot to learn, but I'm figuring it out. I might do another video on it in the future as I keep learning, but comment your thoughts, opinions. If you have nothing to say, drop your favorite emoji in the comments because it helps with the algorithm. Also, I'm banging my head against trying to get a gaming PC, so I might be streaming on Twitch soon. So if you do want to chat with me personally, I'll be on there at some point. So links in the description if you want to follow the channel. And hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Peace. So just to go over this quickly. So it was the Pokemon video when the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl changed my life. Me and Dee worked so much on that video. And at one point, I thought the A-roll was really good personally. And it got deleted because of our drive swapping. This is one of the moments where I was like, okay, I need to invest in a NAS. And we lost the A-roll and the audio. And instead of re-record it, which I should have just done it, I should have just re-recorded it even though it was really good. But instead of doing that, we went down the rabbit hole. Okay, it was on this drive. I'm going to buy a software. We were each splitting software to recover it. So drive recovery, boom, 120 bucks. We've recovered an MP3 or a WAV file and an MP4. Okay, it's corrupt. Now we're buying a corrupt. No. So we got the MP4 out of that one, but not the WAV. So we bought a different software to do SD card recovery specifically. We got the WAV from that. They were both corrupted, so we had to buy another software that uncorrupts video and audio files, and it worked. We bought 3 software that night. I at this point, at the end of the night, I factory reset my computer because there's no way I didn't get a virus going through these websites. But in my Gmail, I have software keys for all kinds of data recovery and rebuilding software. But yeah, we recovered somehow the video and the audio. And what I learned from that night is that that's kind of scary. This was a deleted hard drive and SD card, a formatted card. And we just pulled a video and audio that I made on it from forever ago somehow. So that was the story about how I lost the A-roll. And yeah, I mean, after we got it, we just finished the video. Go watch that video again, by the way. I like that video a lot. It gets me a little emotional. And also just picture in your head that A-roll, that B-roll, or not the B-roll, but the A-roll and the audio, that was deleted into thin air and then brought back from the underworld. So there you go. Now you know.